Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I am your host, Rabina Rastaban, and I am the realist astrologer. So today I am going to get into the dark-sided Sagittarian male. The dark-sided Sagittarian male, he's real funny. First of all, he'll just keep you in stitches. He likes to make you laugh. So he can be very unassuming at first in terms of his dark-sided nature. His funny, light and breezy, easygoing persona can easily pull you in. So you can be easily fooled. They also tend to be very optimistic, tend to, look on the bright side of things, and they're very good at sowing seeds of hope. So they can easily pull you in by, listening to your dreams and aspirations and telling you to go for it and boosting up your confidence. So that's one of the ways that the dark-sided Sagittarian male can pull you in. So if you're not careful, you can easily be fooled by their flattery and, their attempts to win you over by basically stroking your ego. So one of the main dark-sided traits of Sagittarius is that they can be afraid of commitment. And that's because Sagittarius loves freedom. They love to have space to roam. They don't like to be constricted in any way. So a lot of times the dark-sided Sagittarian male will shy away from commitment because he's afraid that a lot of his freedom will be taken away from him. So a lot of times you might be in a long-term relationship with a Sagittarius that's not going anywhere. And as long as he's happy with it, it's going to be very hard to get him to make a firm commitment with you. He'll keep on, pushing the date back in terms of getting married. He's the type of guy who could be the perennial bachelor, forever being single because he wants to play the field. He can be the type that is engaged for like 15 years and never, breaks down to actually getting married. Another dark-sided trait of the Sagittarian male that goes along with the fear of commitment is that they could be man whores. Big-time players love a lot of women, and that's because Sagittarius has a big appetite. Oftentimes, their eyes are too big for their stomach, and they always need to delight in their senses. So Sagittarius is half man, half beast. So a lot of times the dark-sided Sagittarius is operating more on the beast end of his personality. So in that vein, he'll, have a lot of women. He'll have a tremendous amount of sex partners. He can be a straight up freak. The more the merrier. He's very experimental when it comes to sex. He likes variety. A lot of times the Sagittarian male lacks discrimination, so he might, be dealing with a real petite woman, but then, you might find that he's cheating on you. Like, let's say that you're real petite, you're like 5'2", 108 pounds, and then you find out that he's cheating on you, and the woman that he's cheating on you with is 250 pounds, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought he was attracted to me. The thing with Sagittarius is a lot of times they are very tolerant of all types of people, and that's the same with Aquarius. So the Sagittarian male usually has no qualms about, dating or having sex with different types of people. They love variety, and they like to experience things that are different, and they like to go beyond, the norm. So if the norm or if the ideal is, the Barbie doll type, they'll go to something where they feel like it's exotic, because Sagittarius is about the exotic. Another dark-sided Sagittarian trait is that they could be big-time hypocrites. So they can, talk a good game about, their ethics and their morals, but then turn around and be committing the same infractions that they, rail so much about. Or they can be wanton, wasteful, be prone to excess. So the Sagittarian male, the dark-sided one, usually is bad with money, usually overspends, will usually result in you being broke. So the Sagittarian, he basically has no type of filter or no type of boundaries when it comes to spending money, because he feels like there's always going to be an endless supply. And that goes with his sense of optimism, where he feels like he'll always be able to get money somewhere, somehow. Another thing is the dark-sided Sagittarian male could be very dogmatic in his beliefs. If you try to challenge his beliefs, he can become very angry, and you can get into a yelling match with him really easily. And the thing with Sagittarius in general is they can be very loud, very boisterous, overzealous. So when it comes to something that they believe in wholeheartedly, and you go against that or you try to challenge that, watch out, because they will blow up, and they will become very indignant, and they're also full of self-righteousness. So a lot of times they insist that they are right, that they know everything, that they always take the high road in things. So that's another dark-sided trait. I mentioned that they can get into a yelling match with you, and they have horrible tempers. They can easily blow up when they get angry. They could become violent. But the thing with Sagittarius is they could be mind fucks. So one minute they're blowing up at you, they're screaming, they're yelling, they might even hit you, and then the next minute they calm down, because Sagittarius, they get angry, but they calm down really quickly. Next thing you know, they want to be all close to you and try to make it up to you and be your friend. So that could be a mind fuck, because you're still, hurting, or, dealing with the anguish of what you guys just went through, and he's already over it. And he really doesn't want to discuss it. And that's another thing. The dark-sided Sagittarian male, he always has to have the last word, because basically he sees that he's the end-all, be-all of reasoning and ethics and morality. Another thing is they tend to want to have their cake and eat it too. So even if they're not cheating, they're going to try to have something on the side, whether it's porn, whether it's dirty magazines, whether they're flirting online. They might have a bunch of female friends on Facebook. So the Sagittarian male, he often wants to have his cake and eat it too. What he has tends to never be enough. So he has this voracious appetite, and he can be greedy, and he just wants more and more, and it's just never enough. Another thing is they could be messy and very disorganized. So you might find yourself constantly having to pick up after the dark-sided Sagittarian male. They could be quitters. So they can start something and have all of this motivation and all of this drive and energy about it, but then 2 weeks later they're dropping the ball and they're basically on to something else. So the dark-sided Sagittarius can get you all riled up and have you going along with their whole dreams and hopes, and then next thing you know they've done dropped the ball, and you're still cheering them on, but they're basically over it. So that could be, really annoying at times and frustrating with them. Another dark-sided Sagittarian trait is that they could be big-time gamblers. So again, it goes with the money and their lack of discretion when it comes to spending. The Sagittarius, they always have big hopes. They always have big dreams. So a lot of Sagittarians have dreams of hitting the jackpot, striking it rich through the lottery or through winning big at a casino. So they might end up, going broke just off of, their hopes and dreams of winning the lottery. They can have big egos, and it goes with the whole self-righteous thing. They can be full of confidence, even if that confidence is not warranted. Another thing, and this is interesting about Sagittarius, because Sagittarius tend to be a very independent sign. However, the dark side of Sagittarius can be a sycophant. And a sycophant basically is somebody that copies other people's style, or copies the way they talk, copies the way they walk. And I noticed that it's more prevalent with people with their moon in Sagittarius than their sun in Sagittarius. But it can also be present with a Sagittarian sun as well. So I've even seen Sagittarius where they will start to copy somebody's accent, or they might befriend someone of a different culture or different ethnicity and start eating their cuisine. Or they might take on someone else's religion or belief system while they're in a relationship with them, but then when they get out of it, they, drop that religion or belief system, and then they latch on to someone else's, that they're in a relationship with. They can start dressing like you, just acting like you. So that could be very annoying. They can be very preachy, and again, it goes with the self-righteousness. So expect the dark-sided Sagittarian male to get on his soapbox a lot and, rally around his beliefs and, basically just act like a preacher in his pulpit. So that could, wear on you a lot after a while too. Sometimes the Sagittarius just has to go into these tirades, and you just got to kind of tune them out but it's going to be kind of hard because they could be loud as hell. They could be unrelenting when it comes to them getting their point across or getting you to agree with them. So if you're not agreeing with them, again, and it goes with having the last word, they can keep on pushing it at you, or they just won't shut up about it until you finally say, yeah, you're right, or at least I understand where you're coming from. They could be very irresponsible and lack discipline. And along with that, they can be late all the time or just be no-shows and be unapologetic about it or always come up with some weak excuse. They can be extremely restless and reckless even. And that's because the Sagittarius male has a strong need for adventure and to take risk. So a lot of times he might get himself into hot water just because, he's not thinking twice before he gets into some type of venture or before he takes this leap of faith. And again, it goes with being optimistic and always feeling like things are going to work out in their favor. And a lot of times things do work out in Sagittarius' favor and things do, all fall together at the last minute. But then it'll be those times where they're totally off. That's when they fall hard. And the people that are in their life, like, the people that they might live with or in a marriage with, they'll take them down with them. I mentioned about the sex and them being freaks. They could be big time sex addicts. So if you're in a relationship with a dark-sided Sagittarian male, sex may be the dominant factor in that relationship. So if you're not having sex with him, in his mind, you're not in a relationship. So he has justification to go out and, have sex with other women. So they constantly need sex, and that's how they validate a relationship. They need that physical connection. They need that passion and that just that feeling of adventure and feeling of alive and, that deep meaning that you get when, you have sex and you come to climax. Sagittarius loves that feeling because it makes them feel, very vibrant. And it makes them, feel like they're living life to the fullest. So expect the Sagittarian male to be very unreasonable if you're not in the mood, on certain nights. They tend to lack affection. They tend to be insensitive and careless. And another thing is the dark side of Sagittarian male can be very clumsy, just knocking things over, breaking things of yours. So expect to have to replace things a lot, to have to get a lot of things fixed, knocking over glasses of juice or soda, spilling coffee on your papers. So yeah, they could be emotionally stunted. So they can lack emotional intelligence, meaning like they just don't know how to get a tight rein over their emotions. Like, so either if they are emotional, it's too much, it's over the top. But if they're not, feeling, emotion, then they're just going to be totally like emotionally dead. They can be very forgetful, and it goes with being irresponsible and undisciplined. So they may forget your birthday or your anniversary, but they'll try to make it up to you. That is one thing about Sagittarius. They could be religious zealots and extremists. So again, it goes with their dogmatic personality. So if they strongly believe in a religion, expect them to practice it to the hilt, and they may be very strict about it. They could be strict parents if they're very religious, and they can really restrict a lot of freedom. And that's the irony about the dark side of Sagittarius, where they love freedom so much, but if they're the very religious type, when it comes to their children or even their spouse, they might restrict a lot of their freedom in order to be in accordance with what the religious tenets are. They can be judgmental, basically be the judge and jury of everything, and basically it's their say and what they feel is right. And they're basically they can act like gods. And basically they're ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is Zeus, and Zeus was the chief of all gods. So they tend to have a god complex. So if you challenge their beliefs, especially when it comes to religion or spirituality, you can really have a big problem on your hands. They also hate to plan. They like to fly by the seat of their pants, and that deals with the whole adventure and irresponsibility. And another thing, they can be investigators. So The dark-sided Sagittarius male may snoop and go through your things just to find out more about you, or to find out some secrets, or to have something to use against you if the two of you ever get into an argument, or if things are on, or on a rocky shore. Then he'll pull out something that he found or something that he knows about you and tries to use it against you. First of all, when you're arguing with a Sagittarius, prepare to lose, because it's very hard to win an argument with them. Usually you just have to, swallow your pride and just walk away. Because even if they're wrong, the Sagittarius will never want to admit that they're wrong. Again, it goes with that self-righteousness. So that's basically my take on the dark-sided Sagittarian male. You got to be careful with them because they can be one of the more violent signs of the zodiac. So, but that's only if they feel like they're being constricted, or you're, pushing them against the wall too much. You can never... They're like Taurus in that if you keep needling them or pushing them against the wall, or if you keep insulting their intelligence, that's when they can really lash out and get angry and become violent in extreme cases. So, and like the dark side of Aquarius, the Sagittarian can be quite the bully at times. So basically, that's my take. If you feel I left anything out, please feel free to comment. Please like and subscribe. And my next video will be on the dark-sided Scorpio male. That's going to be really juicy. So stay tuned. Thank you, and have a great Saturday.